Do not accuse, adjust.
At home, one must know how to adjust. If you come home late from satsang, what will wife say? You should keep an eye on the time. What is wrong with going home a little early? Why does the husband suffer in this manner? This is a result of his karmic account of his past life. In his previous life, he had accused others a lot. At that time, he was in power. Now you are powerless, so adjust without any complaints. So in this life, do plus minus. Dada Shri's terminology to settle past accounts. It is better not to accuse anyone at all. If you become an accuser, you will be accused. We do not want any part of this. If someone insults you, accept it. Credit it to your account. How do you feel about this? Is it good to be an accuser? Why not adjust from the beginning? If a husband and a wife both make a firm commitment to adjust, they will find a solution. If one is insistent, the other has to adjust by giving in. If you do not adjust, you can become insane. Repeated harassment of others is the reason for this insanity. The one who has learned the art of adjustment has found the path of eternal bliss. Adjustment taken in daily life situation is Jnana. This will be one's triumph. Some people are in the habit of sleeping late and some go to bed early. How can they get along? What would happen if they all lived together under one roof as a family? Someone in the home may say, "You are an idiot." At such a time, you should learn only that this person just uses such language. This is how you adjust. If you return his insult, you will exhaust yourself and the conflict will continue. That person has collided with you, but if you collide with him, then it just goes to prove that you too are blind. I understand the Prakriti, so even if you seek to clash with me, I will avoid it. I will not let it happen. Otherwise, both will suffer in the collision. Therefore, recognize the Prakriti of everyone in the home. Conflicts do not occur every day. They only occur when your past karma are ready to give their effects. Adjust when this happens. If a fight occurs with your wife, make her happy afterwards by taking her out for dinner. From now on, the strain in your relationship should not linger. You should eat whatever comes to you on your plate. That which comes in front of you is your account. God has said that if you avoid eating what comes on your plate, you will be at a loss. So even if there are things on my plate that I do not particularly care to eat, I will eat some of it anyway. How can you be called a man if you do not know how to adjust? Those who adjust to the circumstances will not have any conflicts at home. If you want to enjoy the benefit of your wife's company, you must adjust. Otherwise, you will create enmity. People's lives must be guided by certain principles. One must act according to circumstances at hand. He who adjusts according to the circumstances is to be applauded and respected. If one knows how to adjust in every situation, then liberation is at hand. This is a great weapon.
This adjustment itself is foolishness.
Whatever you say should be acceptable to the other person. If what you say does not agree with him, then it is your fault. You can only adjust if you correct your mistake. Lord Mahavir's message is to adjust everywhere. This maladjustment is foolishness. Adjustment is justice. Any kind of obstinacy, adherence to one's viewpoint is not justice. No one has ever misadjusted with me. Here, a houseful of only 4 cannot adjust with each other. Will you learn how to adjust? Is it not possible to adjust? You will learn from whatever you observe. The law of this world is that you will learn from what you observe. No one has to teach you that. Even if you know very little in this world, it is not a major problem. You may have very little knowledge about your field of work. Even that is all right. But it is essential that you know how to adjust. You have to learn this or you will suffer. Take advantage of this message and make the most of it.
Avoid clashes. Do not come into conflict.
Do not come into conflict with anyone. Try to avoid it. If you absorb these words of mine, you will attain liberation. Exact absorption of just a single sentence of mine will lead one to liberation. Even if you absorb a single word of mine as it is, your work will be done. It is vital that these words be absorbed just as they are. Spiritual dedication to a single word of mine, even for a day, will bring forth tremendous inner energies. Within you, there are infinite energies to resolve all kinds of conflict, no matter how severe they are. Whenever you get into a conflict with anyone, unintentionally or otherwise, you must solve the situation with poise and walk away from it without creating any hostility.
Traffic laws prevent accidents.
In all clashes, both parties suffer. If you hurt anyone, you will inevitably suffer pain at that moment. I am giving you the example of the reason behind traffic regulations. If you cause an accident, you might end up being killed because collisions can be fatal. So do not clash with anyone. In the same way, do not create conflict in any worldly life interactions because there are always risks involved. When someone comes to you and starts using harsh and abusive words, then you need to be alert and avoid a clash. You may not be affected mentally initially, but even so, if you become aware of a sense of displeasure within you and you are bothered by it, you have to realize that the other person's mind is affecting yours. So, you must move out of the way. As your understanding grows, you will be able to avoid conflicts. Liberation is attainable only through avoidance of conflict. The world has been created through conflicts and perpetuated through revenge. Every human being, in fact, every living creature, is capable of harboring revenge. Where there is excessive conflict, they will not leave you without harboring vengeance against you. Whatever it is, it will hold a grudge. This is because there is a soul present in each and every one. A living being in conflict may let go and suffer because of relative weakness, but an inner grudge is established. This grudge will plant a seed of revenge, which will be expressed in your next life. If a person talks too much, whatever he utters should not ignite conflict within us. To say something annoying to someone for our own ego satisfaction is the biggest offense of all.
Find a solution. Do not endure.
To avoid conflict does not mean to tolerate. Your ability to endure is limited. How much can you tolerate? It would be analogous to compressing a spring. How long can a spring remain compressed? Therefore, do not learn how to tolerate. Learn how to reach a solution. In the ignorant state, one has no choice but to tolerate things. Sooner or later, the compressed spring will recoil, causing a lot of damage. Whatever you have to endure by the acts of others is because of karma account from your past life. You do not know where this account came from, so you assume it is something new being directed at you. No one creates new accounts. It is merely the old one's previous life karma coming back to you. The other person is only an instrument to settle your karmic account of your past life.
You clashed through your own mistake.
In this world, whatever conflicts you come across are entirely due to your own mistakes. No one else is to blame. People are going to clash anyway. If asked, why did you get into conflict? The response would be, because they did. So he is blind, and you just became blind by clashing. If there is a conflict, you should understand that you must have done something to cause it. Once you become aware that it is your own mistake, you will have the solution and the puzzle is solved. If you keep searching for a fault of the other person, your puzzle will persist. If we believe and accept that we are at fault, we will be free from this world. There is no other solution. To attempt to resolve this clash in any other manner will further entangle you, and this is, in fact, your subtle ego. Suppose a child throws a rock at you, and you bleed from the cut you sustain. How would you react towards that child? You would be furious with him, even though he regrets his action. What if you were hurt by a falling rock? You would not be angry in this situation, because it was not thrown at you by anyone. Who is responsible for the rock that fell on you from the hilltop?
Science worth understanding.
I want to avoid conflicts, but what am I to do when someone deliberately comes and quarrels with me?
If you fight with this wall, how long can you keep fighting? If you hurt your head from walking into the wall, do you start yelling and punching at it? In the same token, consider your antagonist a wall. Then, is there a need to lay blame on him? We ourselves have to understand that the other person is like a wall. By doing this, you will avoid all problems. If the wall had any power, you would too. Is it capable of confronting you? The same applies to everyone else too. Whatever the account your wife has come with, she will not leave you without settling it. She is simply an instrument to settle your account. You cannot escape this. What is the point of shouting and complaining when she has no control over her speech? Therefore, become like a wall yourself. If you continue to be verbally abusive to your wife, the God within her will take note of it. On the other hand, if you become like a wall when she abuses you, the God within you will help you. There is no difference between colliding with a wall and getting into an argument with someone over differences of opinion. It is essentially the same thing. Both are blind. A person bumps into a wall because he cannot see what lies ahead of him, and a person gets into conflict because he cannot find a solution, and so he gets into disagreement. We should understand that these anger, pride, deceit and greed arise because of one's inability to see what lies ahead. It is no fault of the wall, but of the person who is hurt by it. All these are only walls. All situations are like the wall. When you clash with a wall, you do not go to look for who is at fault. There is no need to prove who is right and who is wrong.